Definitely. Mavi, let me just run you through what the latest incidental cases are in relation to the coronavirus outbreak. And we do know that in country, the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, through the chief of staff, they have given a directive indicating that, well, we don't need to have officials traveling. So there's a travel ban for all government officials, and that also will run through all ministry departments and agencies. But we want to give you a comprehensive highlight as to what really is happening across the world in relation to this outbreak. And in total, we have about total confirmed cases and total confirmed cases. So we do have 119,132 confirmed as it is, and the deaths also indicating what they are. But the mainland China, even though the infection rate have been dropping compared to what the situation was in January, it still stands at just the 80,000 mark. Outside China, though, it is Italy, which is topping with the numbers in excess of some 10,000, followed by Iran. And then we have the Republic of Korea, it'll be South Korea subsequently. Outside those Middle Eastern and Asian regions, we do have France topping with some 1,784 cases in Europe. They're followed closely by Spain and partly Mediterranean sections, also indicating some increasing cases. But Germany, a powerhouse in Europe, a big economy, contributing significantly to the European Union and elsewhere in the world, they've recorded 1,565, and the United States is also climbing the scales. They have just 37 above the 1,000 mark. But look, there are other notable countries that we can make mention of. We have the United Kingdom, which we're already being told, confirmed, the junior health minister has tested positive for coronavirus, and within the period of the last 24 hours had attended a number of events in which even Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, had hosted alongside some other important dignitaries. But across Europe, we have all these been affected, and as a result, in the sporting fields, all matches and fixtures within UEFA and many other leagues have been brought to a halt. And you can also know that these are some of the relevant areas. So we will try as much as possible and bring you a case-by-case basis, country-by-country basis for you to get to know what the related issues are. And when we go to the UK, the health minister, junior health minister Nadine Dorries, is tested positive. Now we scroll up and just the latest update about 30 minutes ago, and there's a picture to read more. It's indicating that Ms. Dorries, the first MP to test positive, says she'd been taking all the advised precautions after finding out and has been self-isolating at home. That's what we call the self-quarantine. This comes as a sixth person died from the virus in the UK. It brings the total cases currently at the number pegged 382. The latest person to die was a man in his early 80s who had some underlying health conditions. Now, this is important because if already you have some predisposed symptoms, it would also mean that your immune system is very weak. And it also predisposes you to coronavirus infections, but ultimately there's wilting in that sense subsequently. But look, in country, this is what the Ghana Health Service is doing, and they've given us the guidelines, the Ghana Outbreak Management Updates, all up there. Now, these are the numbers that you need to call, and the numbers on the screens currently will just increase the font sizes so that you get to know what the screen is. And COVID-19 Ghana's outbreak management update. Let's go up, and these are the numbers that you can call to get all the latest updates. And it's part of our complementary efforts for the Ghana Health Service and for this whole outbreak. We'll just go through the do's and don'ts, what you should know, what are the related issues of coronaviruses in terms of the categories, and how this strain is a bit different, and how various scientists and health experts around the world, indeed some of the biggest countries who contribute to the global economy, have had challenges figuring it out, how it spreads, signs and symptoms, prevention and treatment. And they frequently ask questions. It's also a latest situational report, all from the Ghana Health Service. But let's look at what are the viruses and all the things. But when we go to the Vatican, we have COVID-19. All the updates are saying that Vatican closing its St. Peter's Basilica to tourists. This is very important because this is one of the biggest revenue streams for the city of Vatican, the Vatican City, and also to Italy as well. So while the Vatican is gaining directly, the rest of the Italian economy is also a gainer when it comes to this. And it says that the square will remain closed to tourists and guided tours until April 3. This is instructive because knowing that this is a communique that's or a press release coming from the Holy See Press Office, the Pope's office, it speaks to the related issues, because as of Tuesday, the Vatican Post Office mobile unit in the square was shut down, along with 2 other sales points of the Vatican Publishing House. Now, the Vatican's mess hall, and for many of you who are Catholics have visited this place, would also get to know that the doors usually are open to employees, etc. And these are parts of the sights and sounds when you get to visit the Vatican City in Rome. But it's affecting many other sections of our life. And in football, we have La Liga, the French club matches, and the Barca Champions League game behind closed doors currently. UEFA also has put a number of fixtures on hold as well. And this inserted picture in the match that Barcelona drew with Italy's Napoli, featuring the maestro himself, Lionel Messi, all putting these discussions into perspective. And La Liga announced its ruling will affect the next 2 rounds of fixtures, while the French league said fans will be banned until the April 15 period. It means that no fan will be able to enter a match or a stadium or a venue until April 15. Now, April 15 is just not the ceiling. By the time of April 15, they would take a relook at the measures or the guidelines or the protocols that have been adopted so far. And then subsequently, if the situation they feel is not under control, then they will reinstitute another measure. That is what the World Health Organization says countries across the world need to take a look at. Here in Ghana, we already do know that the president, through a formal communique from the Office of the Chief of Staff, has banned any formal travel of all appointees. And we're thinking it would extend to various officials across the spectrum of ministry, departments, and agencies. Now, currently in Germany, we have Borussia Mönchengladbach's Bundesliga tie against Cologne on Wednesday night. Also will take place behind closed doors, will 5 of the 9 top-flight matches over the weekend. Now, this is just a curtain raiser to what we should expect as we do the discussions right here on the AM show, because we need to look at how this is affecting many other related sectors in Ghana. Because already up north, we have Burkina Faso bordering our northern borders. They have recorded a case, and then we also do have Republic of Togo also recording a case. And so we're just sandwiched among them, because on the side we have Cote d'Ivoire. But apart from the health service and all its indicators, we need to put all these into perspective. How is this affecting the economy in a way? And we have officials of the Ghana Union of Traders Association going to speak to us, and Ben Yeboah, he is a welfare secretary for the association. And the reason why we're putting a focus on the traders, they're just not ordinary traders. Remember, they are big importers. They import and spend volumes of money or amount of money in spare parts importation, vehicle importation, and subsequently other correlated businesses that they undertake, especially at the retail side. They import and do the retailing and the wholesaling as well. That has a significant impact on the commerce on that travel route, especially through the Accra, Dubai, Gwangju route. And then when you have to take into cognizance the European route, Accra, Ankara, it depends on which of the cities in Turkey, especially that they tend to bring many of these goods in. And so we'll speak to the Ghana Union of Traders Association. They will give us from their perspective how this is affecting them, and how they've taken measures to make sure that even for the smaller number of their members who tend to travel through the airports, how they make sure they do the education in such a way that everything will be put into a better context. And that's why we'll also invite into the discussion a virologist with the University of Ghana, Kwame Sego, helping us properly diagnose what the issues are with the virus, how this strain is a bit different, and how the various scientists and the laboratories across the world, in some of the most scientific countries across the globe, are trying to deal with this, whether vaccines so far have been secured, or these investigations have also gotten to a certain herd. Then we'll get to know what the related issues are. So make sure you stick and stay. It's right here on the show. And I know that we'll all get educated. Do stay with us. We'll be right back.